Welcome back to the channel, folks. Right, with it being so quiet on the Matt Reeves front with The Batman Part 2 with Robert Pattinson, I want to look to the future, to James Gunn's DCU slate that he announced almost a year ago now. So James Gunn announced a new slate, and he also announced The Batman, The Brave and The Bold. This is going to be directed by Andy Muschietti, who directed The Flash from last year. Yeah, I know, but I've got a bit of bias because I do like Keaton. He is my favourite Batman, so it's one of them. But Andy Muschietti did direct the two It films, which I think are really good. I even like the second one. I know some people are a bit iffy on that one. The other thing that has been confirmed, this Batman is going to feature Robin. Now, not Dick Grayson, but Damian Wayne. So Damian Wayne is the biological son of Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul. So Ra's al Ghul's daughter. You might have recognized her from The Dark Knight Rises. That tells me a number of potential things. Number one, if we are jumping into Gotham first with Damian Wayne, who really should be about 13 to 16 years old, then surely our Batman Bruce Wayne has to be in the age range of 35 to 45. Number two, this almost means if we are jumping in with Damian Wayne, we must have a Nightwing who's looking after Bloodhaven. We might have Barbara Gordon playing Batgirl at this point. We might have had many Robins at this point. Tim Drake. There could be an inclusion of Red Hood, aka Jason Todd. Surely this Batman should be of an age where he's somewhat considered a father-like figure. Number three, my theory is that I don't think Batman in this DCU with James Gunn is going to be a major player. Don't fall off your chair. Bear with me a second. Since the 60s, we've been so inundated with live action Batmen. I think it might be about time to put some of the focus on the extended Bat family. This maybe gives some credence into why I think it might be an actor in the age range of 35 to 45. This actor might have a bit of prestige against him, so it'd be a big name because we're not going to have to put all the focus on Batman. So if you're falling off your chair, very upset at what I'm saying right now, don't panic, because if we've got anything to go by, Matt Reeves works incredibly slow. I'm not knocking him for that. He puts out some amazing work, but we're going to have two Batmen simultaneously coming out at the cinemas at the same time. So to make them both different, have Robert Pattinson, who's your younger 30-ish age range Batman. And for James Gunn's universe, you would have a bit older Batman because he's already had like a number of kids running about. In my eyes, Nightwing at this point, Dick Grayson, should be about 30 years old, similar age to David Corenswet's Superman. So they're my sort of reasons for who I picked in this list. I've got 5 picks here. You've seen some of them on the thumbnail. One of them you haven't. Coming in at number 5, we've got Glenn Powell. Now, this seems a pretty obvious pick right now. I wasn't on board with this pick for an awful long time. There was an interview that Glenn Powell did where he was quoted saying that he would have a much different take on the Batman character. He would play it more like Keaton. When I seen that, I was like, yep, take my money. That's not the only reason I think he could play it. Off the material I've seen so far with Glenn Powell, so Top Gun Maverick and Hitman especially, where he played multiple roles, I'm a little bit convinced that he could maybe do this Bruce Wayne. He's got the playboy look about him, 100%. Does he look sort of troubled, like he's had past trauma? Maybe not, but the guy is an exceptional actor, and I'm sure he could pull that off. Number 4 is Jensen Ackles. Now, this is quite a popular pick, I've noticed on the internet. I wasn't fully on board with this pick, I can't lie. And the main reason for that is I'm not that big of a fan of Jensen Ackles' Batman voice. I know that might be sacrilege, but for me, on the animated front, it's Kevin Conroy. Then it's actually Peter Weller from The Dark Knight Returns, who I think does an exceptional job as Batman. Jensen Ackles, though, I've sort of come around to the idea, mainly from his part in The Boys, playing Soldier Boy. He can definitely handle the action. He definitely looks like a Bruce Wayne sort of type. And when you're talking about brooding, trauma, whatnot, if you ever saw Jensen Ackles in the series Supernatural, you know he can handle all that. Pretty decent pick in my eyes. I'll come around to it. Number 3. Right, so this is on the older side of my picks. This is Scott Adkins. I don't think this is actually ever going to happen, but I just want to give him a shout out anyway, because he can handle action unbelievably. When I last saw him in John Wick 4, and he was playing that big guy, And John Wick obviously has that showdown with him in the big club. All I could think of is like, oh my God, Scott Adkins is reminding me of a Batman villain here. It's about time Scott Adkins moved up a tier, I think. He's really solid with his acting and his action. One thing I really want to see from this new Batman is some hellish Batman scenes, fighting scenes. I'm talking the same sort of stuff that we saw in BVS when it comes to Ben Affleck in that warehouse scene. There hasn't been a Batman fight scene that's topped that one yet, in my opinion, but I think Scott Adkins could do it. My number 2 pick. Now, this is a wild one, people. Bear with me a little bit. Please don't go anywhere. My number 3 is Evan Peters. Yes, that Evan Peters. One thing I have learned about Hollywood is that I love it when they make these huge swings with certain actors. So take Chris Pratt, for instance, pre-Guardians of the Galaxy. They managed to get him from being quite a large bloke to a slim, butch superhero. It was a total transformation. Now, I think you could do something like that with Evan Peters. One thing that Evan Peters definitely does have is that he looks broken behind the eyes. I'm sorry, Evan, you're probably a lovely guy, but you do look like you've got some trauma behind those eyes. Can't lie. I just think I'm trying to put myself in James Gunn's sort of position where he makes these like out of field choices when it comes to casting. Yeah, I'm not just talking about his, his wife and his brother and whatnot. Chris Pratt was an out there choice, in my opinion. Yeah, that might not have been James Gunn's decision, but he definitely had to pass the casting decision. So the other thing as well, if you've ever seen him in Mayor of Easttown, I've probably got some photos up of him right now. I can sort of see it, man. If we just made this guy a bit buffer, I think he could tackle something like this. The other thing as well, the guy's 37. He is near that age range that I'm looking for in my fantasy draft of casting Batman. The only thing I don't think he could pull off is maybe the Batman voice, but he is an amazing actor, so maybe he could definitely pull it off. You just got to go a bit deeper, man. It'd be fine. I think he could do it. That is my wild card pick. If you've clicked off this video, I sort of don't blame you. My number 1 pick, and this is the pick that I've had for quite a while now. My number 1 pick is Bradley Cooper. Couple of reasons for this. Main reason number 1 is, what does James Gunn like to do? Now, I know he's not directing The Brave and the Bold, but he is going to be a producer and he's overseeing this new slate of DC films, so he is going to have a hand in it. He got interviewed once on the red carpet and they asked him about the DC universe, Bradley Cooper, and he sort of just had like a vague look on his face, but also a little bit of a smirk there, like, yeah, I know something that you don't.
Do you character?
Oh, dude,
So
insane.
Funny. So
yeah,
funny.
Yeah, that show's nuts. I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
I'd love to see you over there.
Yeah. Over there.
Yeah, we gotta see this beautiful face in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Now, I might be way off with this. I think there's something here, especially when it comes to Bruce Wayne. He looks like Bruce Wayne. He could pull that off. The Batman, edgier, darker stuff, it's something I would genuinely like to see from Bradley Cooper. Another thing when it comes to him, he's been heavily involved within the DC Batman universe for quite a while now. Well, ever since the first Joker film, because yes, he is a producer on that film, and he's a producer on Joker Folie à Deux as well. Are you telling me there hasn't been, after work beers, 5 o'clock, hit the bar, you sat down with Todd Phillips, Lady Gaga, Joaquin Phoenix, you're all chatting, and they go, Bradley, never thought about being Bruce Wayne Batman ever before? Come on. That guy has definitely thought about it. He's sort of like the child of Warner Brothers in a way. Like, he's done so many films with them. He came to like real prominence in the Hangover trilogy, which obviously produced by Warner Brothers. There could be something there, 100% when it comes to Bradley. I could also see him very much playing Hal Jordan, the new Green Lantern. And you know what? If they cast him as that, I'm totally cool with that. I've just been thinking for the last year, what would be a real sort of crazy choice for Batman, but made sense. And Bradley Cooper does make sense to me. He is pushing 50. If there's people with retractors out there because of that, I totally understand. But looking at a 30-year-old Bruce Wayne Batman is the wrong avenue to be looking down. I don't think that's where they're going to go. I'm telling you, man, I think we're going to be looking more like 40. And Bradley Cooper can definitely pass for 40. Anyway, guys, that's been my 5 picks of Batman Bruce Wayne for The Brave and the Bold. Hope you've enjoyed that. Let me know down in the comments who you would have in your 5 picks for Bruce Wayne Batman. Go wild, go out there, give me your picks, man. But anyway, thanks for watching, folks. I'll catch you next time.